Well, better late than never. A very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you into the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. The dear Goon kind enough to join us via Zoom. I am at Quaker Steak Lube, where I have just been served a delicious lunch and looking forward to it. We invite you to come on down and enjoy one of your meals here at Quaker Steak Lube. Great selection of food. Of course, today is the all-you-can-eat wing buffet, which gets underway at 4 o'clock. They're already getting everything set up for that, so you can come on down, enjoy wings to your heart's content. You can check out, we've got Little League Baseball now, of course, Major League Baseball, and yes, we have training camp news. NFL preseason gets underway in earnest with the preseason games this weekend. You can check out all of your favorite sports action here at Quaker Steak and Lube while you enjoy the best service in the area. Dear Goon, how are we doing today? Besides patiently waiting for me on.
I'm alive. That's all that matters right now. Is I'm here and I'm ready to go. I got a laptop this week, so the phone. I have air conditioning. I have electricity, and I have the internet. It's unbelievable.
It wins all around. We'll take it.
I was in a third world country for a while there last week. How about that, man? I was telling my wife, I was like, when she got back, and she was like, "Well, how was the show Tuesday?" I said, "Well, here's the deal. I hadn't done a show in 3 weeks because of the injuries and everything was going on in our lives. I come back, and halfway through the show, the internet just explodes in our house, and our power shuts down. I'm in here sweating. I mean, I couldn't move. Like I'm on a walker. I couldn't go outside and get some fresh air or open a window. I mean, I was hurting. So then somebody comes in, and it was just a fuse box. They tripped the fuse because I couldn't get downstairs.
So
when somebody got here, it took care of me. But wow, I was like, that show was not supposed to happen. Not supposed to happen. No way. It was just the gods were against us. But I mean, hell, a lot's going on since then,
that is for sure. A whole lot. We'll get into it with the Pirates and the Phillies. We'll get into it with some of the NFL news and things going on. But certainly we're at the time of the year where locally, Goon, everybody is gearing up here for football season. Media day was Saturday. James Franklin and coaches and players meeting with the media, and preseason practices underway. I think obviously expectations, as we've been talking about, very high, and we have Penn State now third in the preseason coaches poll, Texas number 1, Ohio State number 2. I think that's fine. Of course, Texas and Ohio State will play in week 1, so you would think Penn State will move into that number 2 spot and will sit comfortably there until at least the Oregon game rolls around. And I don't know if you heard about this, Goon, but that's actually going to be the whiteout this year.
Really?
I feel like they may get a couple of fans to show up for that one.
Have you gotten any phone calls for tickets?
I have had a couple of text messages.
I'm like, are you kidding me? There's no way. I mean, and then usually you see people selling stuff, and they do, and you can see the prices of it, and you're like, holy crap. Yeah. That's going to be an unbelievable ticket to get. It really is.
To sell.
Yeah, right. I have a TV which is going to be on. You can watch them there.
Yeah, I do think that is obviously going to be just a tremendous atmosphere, tremendous opportunity. And really one of few, Goon. We've been talking about it. Kind of feels like to a large degree, a 2-game season here for the Nittany Lions, and that can be dangerous thinking. Again, I don't think the team is thinking that way, but certainly the fans, I think, overwhelmingly expecting that this season will come down to those 2 games. I know Indiana's ranked and is sitting out there. That is a game that I will say, if you're looking at a game that would be concerning beyond it. I know at Iowa has been talked about, and I don't disagree that has some level of concern. That Indiana game, though, coming on the heels of the Ohio State game, win or lose that game, I do think there's a bit of a danger there of either a letdown if you're coming off the high of winning in Columbus, or allowing kind of what happened in 1999, where things can snowball a little bit. I do think that game, I'm not sitting here panicked over it, but I do think that game right now would be one that you'd circle as, if somebody other than Oregon and Ohio State are going to sneak up, that might be the team just because of the spot it's at. And listen, I think Indiana's going to have a good team, and I think that program, and I know it's head coach out to prove that last year was not a one-off, that this is going to be a sustained long-term success type of thing in Bloomington.
We're not having this conversation 1 year ago today. Think about that.
No, we are not.
Think about how far Indiana has come in 1 year to that, where we're sitting there saying, what about a letdown game or like a fail appearance, the woe is me type of game backing up against the Ohio State game. Yeah, totally. It's 100% right. Trap game, I guess the trap games are usually before, but this one's a trap game after.
Yeah.
We come out of Ohio State with a victory at Ohio State. We're rolling high and this and that, and they can come in here and drop us real quick, man. And the same thing, we go out to Ohio State, lose. Oh, the season's over. Yeah. But it's not. And then you get dropped by Indiana. So great point. That is a very, very scary game. And then we are not talking about that as of this time last year. It's just funny how that's how it is now with them.
Yep. And Illinois sitting there as the fourth highest ranked Big Ten team in the top 25. I think they checked in at 12 and Michigan at 14, and then Indiana was 19. I don't actually have it in front of me, but I think that's right. And then again, Penn State sitting there at third, Ohio State second, and I think Oregon was seventh, if I'm not mistaken. I think Notre Dame ended up 5, and Clemson 6, and then Oregon. So, we've talked about it. It's certainly a very good chance for a top 5 matchup when Oregon visits Beaver Stadium in that final Saturday of September on the 27th for the Big Ten opener for both teams. And Goon, again, everything coming out of Saturday, I was actually hoping to get there, and things came up, and I did not. Was not able to get up to Media Day. But I think when you look at this Penn State team, everything you got largely what you were anticipating in terms of expectations being very high, holding each other accountable, all of that. I'm more excited now than I am necessarily. I'm concerned still, but I'm actually just more excited to see what this receiving core can do and kind of how this all fits together. It is an unusual situation where you have 3 new players to the program, but all of whom have some experience, and as James Franklin has talked about, I mean, it's good experience, it's meaningful experience, but how well all of that comes together, I think is kind of the only missing part here to feeling very confident that this is, in fact, a team that can go win a national title.
I mean, offensively, we have it going on right now. We have a powerful run game with powerful offensive linemen who can run block and pass block, a hell of a quarterback, a hell of a tight end, hell of a running backs. It's the receivers. If they step up, again, we had this conversation last year. It was sort of the same issue we're running into last year. And that is what's going to happen with the wide receiver room. And it's the same question that needs answered. Do I think we have a much better product in that wide receiver room this year? Yes, I do. I thoroughly believe we do. So we're going to go, I mean, you know how I am always. We're going to go as the offensive line goes, but I think we go as the wide receivers go this year. If they're not playing well and they can get taken out of the game, then, we don't have a Tyler Warren at tight end that we know of. We might, but we don't know as of yet. But the wide receiver room's really, really, really got to step up this year. And then the attitude that these guys have, if you watch that media day, there's that buzz about them. They had that arrogance about them. Yes, we know how good we are. We know how good we can be, but we haven't won anything yet. We need to go out and do it. And I love that attitude right now. I mean, it's got a little 94 offense to it, in my opinion, with like the little like I'm not going to say we were cocky, we were arrogant or this and that, but we knew we were going to be good, and we knew what we could do. And I think that this team has that arrogance about them, but they're not outwardly cocky. You know, I think they have like an aura about them of how they know how good they are, how good they can be, and how good this season can be. And they're very well led. I think we have 13 or 16 returning starters this year. That is huge. Again, I go back to the 85 team, Jeff. You know, we lose that Orange Bowl to Oklahoma in 85, and all the senior class makes a commitment to come back. And that's a lot of guys and a lot of older guys that are starting for you who've been through a lot of games and they know how to win games. So, I mean, bring the season on right now, man. Let's get it on, brother.
Yeah, and I think that the thing I like about the three transfers is I think that they all bring – a little different element to the game. I all have some experience, and again, I think there's a certain confidence that comes regardless of where you've played previously. There's a certain confidence that comes with having had some level of success, and they've had varying degrees of success here at the collegiate level. But I think Hudson has a chance to be kind of the a possession receiver, a guy that can just kind of settle in and in zone coverage, or just go underneath and be a guy that you feel, along with the tight ends and the running backs, gives you a good option to just get the ball downfield. And then Pena is the guy, Goon, that I'm kind of circling here. From Syracuse, as maybe he can be a big-time playmaker for this team. But what I am curious to see is how Penn State goes about these first three games in terms of what all do you show. And again, James Franklin really is not somebody that I think is all that guarded. I don't think the idea is. I think we talked about it a lot last year, and then nope. I think they pretty much they're going to add each week, but I mean I don't think that they go in there with, all right, we're going to not show these receivers until we get to the Oregon game, or we're only going to show these routes. I think again, James Franklin's approach, I think, is much more, let's put as much on tape as we can for opponents to think about, to wonder about. So, so I think you may even see some trick plays that you're like, oh, what in the world? Why are you running this against Nevada or Villanova? But I think it's, we want to get this on film, let them see it, react to it, and then, again, you'll throw in wrinkles off of it. But I am really curious to see, I guess, how many attempts Drew Aller has at the receiving core as a whole, let's say on average through those first three games, given I don't think Penn State has to throw the ball at all, and they could win those first three games by 5 touchdowns each.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we want to flex our muscle a little bit of that, and that's what's going to happen in those first three games. And go out there, put your foot on their throat, like you said, you've heard me a million times. But that's the way you got to do it. Go out there, don't get hurt. Go out, take care of business. Let them know who they are. Let them know who you are, and move on to the next game. Stay healthy, get ready to go. It'll be fun because it's camp sucks. Springtime sucks, and it's just going back. And the last taste these guys have in their mouths was Notre Dame, and that was a pretty bitter loss. So this is their first time to get back on the field and get rid of that taste. And I think that Nevada's coming in here and gonna take one on the chin pretty good there, if you know what I mean. Couple rights and lefts, so with our run game, and then you're right. I don't know how much Aller will be. Do we show our passing game those first three games? Do we need to get that passing game going those three games? Because we don't need to. If the run game's running, we don't need to have the pass game. But you also want to work the pass game against live product.
Yeah.
You want to get those receivers ready because you don't want their first time that they're expected to do anything be the whiteout against Oregon.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be fun in those first 3 games to see really the overall approach with the offense. Again, the number of touches the receivers get, what that rotation looks like. I mean, again, we're kind of focused on the 3 transfers, but obviously, you have Liam Clifford sitting there as a leader, and you have a couple of young guys that are reportedly ready to kind of burst onto the scene here as well. So I think kind of what that rotation looks like, who's getting the touches early on, and then again, do you see somebody have that breakout game, or does that ball get spread around amongst the receivers? I think that's going to be one of the kind of fun storylines to follow through the month of September, and then obviously off of that into the rest of the season. The number 3 ranking, Goon, I think we had talked about it, would not have been shocked to see Penn State number 1. Kind of thought Texas would get the nod. I think that number 3 spot is perfectly fine. Penn State's going to have high expectations, certainly going to be a top 5 program in virtually any and every preseason poll that's taken. But I think not having that number 1 target on your school right out of the gate is also not a bad thing.
I'm with that.
Penn State.
I'm completely on board with that. You don't want that bullseye on you right away. And Texas obviously has it on there. I mean, whether they played Ohio State or not, they have it on them. But it's a pretty big target for Ohio State to go after, and pretty big for Texas because, someone pointed out to me months ago, look at Texas under Steve Sarkisian and Steve Sarkisian in a whole compared to James Franklin. The similarities are just unbelievable.
Yes.
So let Sarkisian have to answer, are you number 1 in the country? Not have to ask James Franklin that, Let Sark go through all those all that crap that's involved with being number 1 in the country. And if he wants to do it, that's fine. Because James will take it, but I don't think I think he's happy with where he's at right now. It all works out in the end.
Yeah, that first game, the Ohio State-Texas game, it is fascinating for a bunch of reasons. Obviously, the fact that you have 1 versus 2 now, but I think it'll be interesting to see how both coaches handle. As you mentioned, Sark has a lot of pressure on him.
He does.
And, coming out of the gate, the interesting thing is, as ridiculous as it sounds, and it does sound ridiculous because it is ridiculous, I do think there's a lot of pressure still on Ryan Day. And if the Buckeyes, listen, again, they're ranked number 2. Everybody's expecting that they are going to be right in the mix for the national title again. And regardless of the outcome of that game, certainly I think the expectation is both Texas and Ohio State, regardless of how that game goes, will more than likely be in contention here at the end of the season. But if Ohio State loses that game, if Ohio State does lose at home to Penn State, and if Ohio State loses to Michigan again, it is preposterous, but I am telling you, there will be heat on Ryan Day in Columbus. And as we sit here right now, Goon, that is not. I still can't believe Ohio State lost to Michigan last year. I still can't believe it. And I think in some ways it may have been a blessing in disguise. I do think it gave the Buckeyes an edge going into the
play. Woke them up, didn't it?
No doubt about that. They were ready to go when the playoffs rolled around. But I think Texas has a very good shot of beating Ohio State, even in Columbus. And certainly I feel like we've probably said this 5 or 6 times over the last 7 or 8 years, but this does feel like Penn State's best shot to beat Ohio State, certainly in Columbus, in a long time. And then that Michigan game, I mean, I'd sit here and tell you that that's the least concerning game, but it's obviously the biggest game. And given what happened last year, I think Michigan is closer to being the type of team that Ohio State, we're expecting it to be anyway in the upcoming season this year, than they were a year ago, for sure. And so just because of the way that series is playing out, that is certainly not a given. But a year removed from a national championship, 3 losses to potentially all 3 could be playoff teams. I mean, certainly Penn State and Texas, you're expecting to be playoff teams, and Michigan certainly could be. To think that you could lose to 3 playoff teams, maybe still be in the playoffs yourself, and be 1 year removed from a national championship and have, I don't know what the percentage would be, but it would be a significant portion of Buckeye Nation that would be saying we've got to move on from Ryan Day. I mean, that's the type of
insanity
pressure, that is there in Columbus.
That would be a 5-year loss streak to Michigan, and it doesn't matter if they win a national title or not. Yep. I think if he loses 5 to Michigan, I think they'd fire him, and that is absolutely insane.
See, I think there would be calls for it.
You know what I mean. There'd be a lot of calls for it. Would a hardcore, hard edge, like, I don't care about national titles. And you're not a fan, then you're an idiot. You know, if you even think about getting rid of a coach because he lost to Michigan, I mean, it's the John Cooper syndrome right there, you know? Talent, and then lose to Michigan every year. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's the pressure in that game and again, capital I, capital F, if Ohio State loses to both Texas and Penn State, the pressure going into that, because that could be then, if it plays out that way, that could be the game that determines whether or not the Buckeyes are a playoff team or not, which would only add to an already sizable amount of pressure on the Buckeyes going into that one.
Holy crap, man. Can you imagine that? They have to win the Michigan games to get to the playoffs, and if they lose, they're not in the playoffs, and they would probably be fired.
I am loving imagining it. And listen, that's the fun of being a fan and going into the season. You can construct all types of scenarios, many of which will have nothing to do with reality. And again, Ohio State could end up running the table and going undefeated this time and winning the national title. I mean, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, but I would, as we sit here right now, Goon, I would say I think it's more likely Ohio State goes 9-3 than that they go 12-0 during that regular season schedule.
That's 3 big wins, man. That would be, that's getting through Texas, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, and Michigan. Wow, that'd be a big one. That'd be a hell of a year right there, buddy.
Yeah, if they do that,
if they lose in the first round, no one would say, that's okay. We won a national title, but we beat Michigan. I don't care. You're like, it's unbelievable. That's the attitude that those fans have. I mean, that is a first world problem no doubt about it.
Yes. And we love those types of problems. So, all right, let's take a break here. When we come back, let's maybe turn our attention to baseball a little bit. I do want to talk about the Phillies and last night's eruption in the 6th inning, and Kyle Schwarber and company, and then my Pirates and what
they're killing it. They're doing good. Stop it.
What the future may hold in Pittsburgh or elsewhere as we continue. It is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on a Tuesday afternoon.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months and get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too, and their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
Rings and all kinds of other tempting things. Great times, great food. Get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food. Get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Tonight, the State College Spikes continue a week-long homestand with a 6:35 p.m. matchup against the Frederick Keys. It's Walking Taco Tuesday with half-price walking tacos all game long. Plus 16-ounce Miller Lite and Coors Light drafts are half price from 5:30 to 7:30. See your first-half champion Spikes in action on the road to the MLB Draft League Championship game. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
Back here on a Tuesday afternoon, Quaker Steak and Lube, again, kind enough to serve as our home away from home on these Tuesday and Thursday afternoon excursions.
How are the wings, Ironhead? Come on, I need an update, buddy. It's been too long.
They are fantastic, as you would expect. Just wonderful sauces. Of course, they give you the big, thick, meaty wings, and they don't cheap out on the wing day. It's the same wings you get the rest of the time, and that is rightfully what Quaker Steak and Lube is best known for, although again, their menu is phenomenal, just a gradation of different food items. But yeah, there's a reason they're still most famous for their wings, and that is because they are fantastic.
So Ironhead,
all right, let's talk.
I gotta show you something. You know it's getting close to football season when the wifey goes out and she starts preparing for all the tailgate people that come up here. Bath and Body Works football scented.
Oh, there you go.
Soaps. I'm afraid to see what it smells like. Does it smell like desperation, hangover, and like Marlboro Lights, like 30 years ago I was something, or does it smell like pigskin? I don't know. I gotta wait till the opening game to see what it smells like. But she's like, yeah, some of your friends could use this when they're here for the weekends. A football tailgate.
There you go.
Bath and Body Works.
I like.
Oh my God,
I like it a lot. Yeah, looking forward to testing that out. Phillies, Goon. It's interesting because I think you could make the argument that the Phillies and the two teams that did the best job of helping themselves at the trade deadline. And, of course, they are battling it out in the National League East. I think both made really good moves that bolstered their chances here to get to the postseason, but more so to achieve what they want to achieve in the postseason. I will say that the power last night was on full display of home runs, and now 40 on the season. His second last night, a grand slam, as the Phillies broke that game open with an 8-run sixth inning and beat the Orioles 13-3. The game was 3-3 going to the bottom of the sixth. But Goon, we've been saying it for a while, but I do get the feeling this race is going to come right down to that final week, and I think it is going to be a lot of fun. I think there's going to be a lot of ebbs and flows, but from the outside looking in,
yeah,
I just think you have I think both of those teams could really make a run here when the playoffs roll around.
You talking about the Mets and the Phillies? Is that what you said?
I am.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Mets and the Phillies, I mean,
yes,
they're guaranteed. They're both going to be the National League reps. One's going to win. One's going to be a wild card. So they're going to be in. But if they got to go head to head, you sure as hell better want to have that home field advantage. I don't know if you watched those ninth innings of the new guy coming in. Did you see that introduction? That was awesome, dude.
Yep.
Dude, that's amazing. And good job by Minnesota, like allowing the Phillies to use all that stuff. So that guy's unbelievable. And I heard something last night, Ironhead, and I need you to think about this. So the kid they had playing center field they got from Minnesota, the Hader kid, he had the longer, flowing, blonde-haired lock, this and that, the short, little, stocky guy.
Yeah. Somebody
told me he looks like 1993 Phillies had a baby. Because he has the mullet like Kruk. He's built like Bloody Dykstra. He's got the machismo of Darren Dalton. It's like he's a psycho like Dave Hollins and all that. And I'm just like, dude, that is so funny. Like he's the love child of the 1993 Phillies. Man, I was watching it and I was like,
and now he's back where he belongs.
Absolutely, man. He's been searching for so long, and now he's found his home. So yeah, he went yard last night. And I looking at him when you show him in center field, he looks a lot taller and bigger. And then he hits a home run last night. He runs into the dugout, and he's short as heck. He's about Dykstra's size. But yes, great job by the Phillies going out and getting two necessary components. I think they have like 18 center fielders right now who just rotate through. So as long as they keep hitting, and that's the bottom line. It's all about the hit because they're going to have the starting pitching, but they're also going to need the hitters to take the starting pitchers out if the pitchers don't perform that day. You're going to have them pretty well throughout the year, but there are days when you need the bats to come alive. And when the Phillies bats are alive, they can beat anybody. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So, I mean, just imagine if the Phillies, like the roster gets hot with the bats and then the pitchers get hot towards the end of the season. I mean, we're talking about going down Broad Street again, in my opinion. But the Mets are there. Mets made a lot of moves. They got a lot of. The Phillies are the target. They're the what they're Texas and Ohio State, and they're Penn State looking at us where we want to be. So they're just going to keep going and mowing along the same way the Phillies are. So it's going to be day to day the whole year, and I don't think they have many games left against each other. I do know the Phillies' late season is a lot tougher than the Mets' late season matchup. So it's going to be a nice little August and October here and September, and hopefully October, November will be fantastic in Philadelphia for fans.
Yeah, it certainly feels like that is going to be the case. I think the National League is. I don't think we'll see how it all plays out, obviously, but I think the Phillies, the Mets, the Dodgers, and the Padres. I'm telling you, the Padres were very active as well at the trade deadline, and I do think San Diego is also a team that could be really dangerous when the postseason rolls around. I mean, I'm not expecting much from the Central Division, but I do think you have two formidable teams there in the East and two formidable teams in the West. And to me, right now, it's almost a flip of the coin among all four of those teams as to, all right, there's your World Series representative from the National League.
Yeah. And it's going to be a hell of a end of the year. I know that. I mean, the way these guys are playing, and I mean, you're downplaying the Brewers. They have the best record in the National League. I know that they're playing in the Central against some vastly, pretty bad opponents, if you ask me. But they're making their bones in it. They're getting the wins the way they should. So don't sleep on them, but you never know. LA, yes, they're defending and all this and all that. I just don't. I don't think the Phillies and Mets are scared of them. I really don't. I think that they're just ready to go out there and ready to throw. They throw.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason for them to be afraid, and I think the Padres, Goon, are also. I think that's a team that just
that's your boys' team. Of course, you're going to bring up the Padres.
Well, they feel like this is their time, and they've kind of put all their chips in here as well. I don't think there's a difference between regular season and playoff baseball. I don't think the Brewers are built to go win a World Series, and I just see that a bunch of people to win the 2020s. I can understand that given my history with predictions, but I don't think Milwaukee will be in the World Series this year. I think it'll be one of those four that we talked about. But I think the race between the Phillies and the Mets is just going to be fascinating TV for baseball fans. If you don't have a rooting interest, obviously. If you do have a rooting interest, it will be must-see baseball from here all the way through the World Series now for possibly one of those teams. Pirates, meanwhile, Goon.
Buccos, baby. Buccos.
Yeah. Got a nice win last night. It's just it is just so disappointing to see what they are letting slip away. That game Friday night, and again, 2 games. Every team has at least a game where you're like, how in the world do you blow a lead like that? But 9-0 good after a half inning, and you end up losing it to the Rockies. Now, they do salvage the final game. They get a couple of runs in the 9th last night and beat the Giants to kick off this homestand. And again, overall, they're playing better, and I would say decently under new manager Don Kelly. But it's just not there's not a reason there to get excited about the future, because the moves they made at the deadline, as we talked about, are just perplexing, because it feels like they are building for like rebuilding over the next few years. But by the time, if that is what you're trying to do, that's when your window is going to close, because the starting pitchers that you have, most notably, obviously, Paul Skeens, that they will be gone at that point. And that is where you have your window. I mean, Skeens, as my friend the horse likes to say, Skeens is the window here for Pittsburgh, and you're already wasting 2 years of that window, and it just does not feel like they have any clear idea or vision of how to take advantage of what is now a very narrow window of opportunity to even be a contender in the National League Central.
It sucks. I mean, you're a fan. I mean, it's just like you grew up loving the Pirates the way I grew up loving the Philadelphia Phillies. And to see them not really just not care, to have the ability to go out and do some stuff because you have some chips out there. You could have made a run. You could have done something. And we just said it's a pretty bad division they play in. You know, I mean, yeah, you got Skeens. You have all this draft talent. You know, go out and make a trade or two. I mean, they have, you know, their hitters aren't as well as the pitchers right now. So what? 2 years, you're going to get rid of all your pitchers for a trade bait. You're going to get rid of Skeens because it's the end of his contract. You're going to maximize that, all that, and you're just going to sputter. And that's what they're going to do, and that's what he wants to do. Now, I mean, is there anything more? Yeah. Are they going? Is there attempts? Has it ever happened where they force? I know they forced the Tampa Bay Rays guy to sell this past year. I mean, how did that happen? What did he do that Nutting is not doing?
Well, so Nutting, at least, I mean, that's not happening. That Major League Nutting to sell. And I think when you look at the big picture stuff, again, what is so baffling is they didn't get a huge return, got a pretty insignificant return for what they gave up at the deadline, but they hung on to, and I like Tommy Pham as a player, but what is the purpose of keeping Tommy Pham for the rest of this season when you know this is his last season in Pittsburgh? And same thing with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Like, there just does not seem to be any rhyme or reason. And if the answer is, well, you're just not going to get enough in return, get something in return. You're getting nothing in return now for those two. Why you're trying to finish up this season with those two, I mean, that is as baffling as anything else that's going on right now with the organization. And it just, I mean, I'm a broken record, but it is just so unbelievably frustrating as a fan to sit there and just helplessly watch as this organization insists on continuing to flounder, or no matter what kind of is there to not sit and flounder.
Yeah, I mean, so they could have gotten rid of Pham, who has no support from the fans. He's had 2 incidences this year, right, where he's had arguments with fans. And so he's not a fan favorite out there. So why are you keeping that guy around? Get rid of him. He's not going to come back and play next year for you. He's gone. Go out and get a backup, a reliever for him. He's not a fan favorite. The team doesn't like him. What the hell?
Yeah, it just is. There just really does not seem to be any inner direction within the organization. And, you know, the expectation is that they'll have a new general manager next year. But until there's a new owner, or unless there's a new owner, the rest of it really does not matter. end of the day. And so, yeah, we're just left to to watch a team with so much promise not be able to capitalize on the opportunity that should be there for the Pirates. That being said, I do think Major League Baseball, in terms of overall ranking,
yeah, where would you put their rotation in the National League? Top 5?
I'd say it's probably among the top 5 in the National League right now.
Crazy
starting pitch.
The starting pitching, yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, wow, they could be. I mean, it's almost funny. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it is funny to me because I know it hurts you guys. It hurts Pittsburgh fans. But Skeens is like his the day after you look at his line and you're like, why? I mean, this is so bad for them. I mean, it reminds me again. I've said it before, but Steve Carlton in 1972 in Philadelphia, he won 29 games and the team only won like 56 games or something like that. It's the same thing going down. He won the Cy Young with a losing record on a losing team, the last place team in baseball. But he was so dominant on days that he started. The Skeens thing is starting to catch up to that. It's craziness, man.
Yeah, the difference is the Pirates are so bad that Skeens can't even win, despite having the best ERA in baseball. I mean, he still has a sub-500 record.
Put him on the turnpike, Ironhead. Put him on the turnpike. Get him to Philadelphia. Come on, baby.
Not have a did start out in Denver, but yeah, but he is obviously very, very special and very, very consistent. And Pirates are just going to waste the Skeens years here. It seems all but a certainty at this point.
Crazy.
Major League Baseball as a whole, though, Goon, man, it is a fun season. Oh yeah, fun season though in the majors. We're seeing some different stars emerge. We're seeing some different teams emerge. Again, I do think these final couple of months of the regular season are going to be wildly entertaining for those that have contending teams. Those that don't, we can still watch with intrigue on what that must be like. And I do think there's, the Tigers are Philly was terrific. Yep, they're ready for prime time here. So I wish I had a team that was part of it because I do think this stretch run is going to be really, really good for Major League Baseball. And then we'll see whether or not Major League Baseball does what it has done, are ruling again. Let's shoot ourselves in and have some sort of a work stoppage and bring this thing to a screeching halt.
Yeah, I think they're already calling for 2027. That's going to be they're pretty much guaranteeing there's going to be a work stoppage then. It's like, you know what? You finally got everybody rolling. It does it all the time. It's like you drive people away, man.
Not good, especially in this market that we're in now, where there is more competition for the sports entertainment dollar than there's ever been. I think trying to get it figured out, but I'll tell you, I think there should be a salary cap in baseball, but I do understand why the players are adamant and say nope, we're not interested. And I think how that ends up, whether there's any movement on the players' side that says, you know what, maybe for the long-term health of the game, we need to do this or not. And right now, I mean, that seems very, very unlikely. But these next couple of years are going to be very, very interesting.
Absolutely. You want to come over? You want to be a Phillies fan, Ironhead? Jeff, come on.
I do not. No interest whatsoever.
Why not? I would root for your Buccos.
Yeah, our buddy Alan saying Pirates need to call up Chandler and Barco to gain experience. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Like, it could be demoralizing too, though.
And yes, ultimately, I mean, yes, I agree that they should. I think getting them some experience would be great. But at the end of the day, I don't think it matters in terms of whether they get experience this year or not. Has nothing to do, in my mind, with the Pirates becoming contenders, because they're not becoming contenders.
What if they go out and get absolutely
drastically changed?
You know, what if they put their young guys in there and bring them up and they get absolutely shelled the whole season? Like, oh.
Yeah, then you bring it back down and start things up next year. I don't think that's a big deal either. But all right, we'll take a break here. Do want to talk some some NFL preseason action. Gets underway this weekend. So the NFL teams outside of the Chargers and the Lions, and preseason games have never been all that exciting to me, but I got to tell you, Goon, less exciting by the year. With I mean, it's different now even than it was when we were coming up. Obviously, fewer games, but also a lot fewer opportunities for the starters, which is fine. It makes sense, but also I can't get too. But there is some intrigue with some of the, I suppose for all the teams, some of the younger players with the Steelers and the impact some of these guys are making and now are expected to make for the team in the upcoming season. So we'll kick that around a little bit. When we come back, you are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show on Sports Radio.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things. Great times, great food. Get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food. Get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Tonight, the State College Spikes continue a week-long homestand with a 6:35 p.m. matchup against the Frederick Keys. It's Walking Taco Tuesday with half-price walking tacos all game long. Plus 16-ounce Miller Lite and Coors Light drafts are half price from 5:30 to 7:30. See your first-half champion Spikes in action on the road to the MLB Draft League Championship game. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And back here on a Tuesday afternoon as we get ready for football season, which high school football season is just about 2.5 weeks away now, and looking forward to checking out the local teams and the action across the state. Of course, Penn State will open up at home against Nevada on the 30th, the last Saturday here in August, in what will be a 3:30 kickoff at Beaver Stadium, and the Steelers in preseason camp, and both teams will get underway this weekend with preseason game action. The Eagles on Thursday, the Steelers on Saturday. Philadelphia looking to repeat as Super Bowl champions. The beloved Steelers, of course, probably one of the more watched teams here in the preseason, one of the more intriguing storylines is Aaron Rodgers, how he'll fit in, and what kind of production the Steelers will have in the upcoming season, and whether they can win a playoff game or possibly go any further, or will they even take a step back and not make the playoffs in the upcoming season. And depending on what media source you're reading, you can find predictions that will cover that wide gamut for the Steelers in the upcoming season. I think the Steelers probably one of the teams that have a wider breadth of expectations, some thinking that they could vault into Super Bowl contention. I think that is very unlikely. Some believing that they will finish dead last in the division. I think that is certainly possible and finish sub 500. I think more likely and most likely is that the Steelers will, again, be a playoff team by the skin of their teeth and, again, maybe win a playoff game in the upcoming season. But I don't think – I don't think for all of the changes they've made. At the end of the day, I don't think it's changed expectations. I think they've improved at about, and I do think they've improved. I think they've improved at about the same rate as the Ravens, as the Bengals, and as the Browns, and for that matter, the Chiefs and the other contending teams in the AFC. I think the Chargers are the team, Goon, and I'm not putting any stock. I didn't really watch. I watched about 5 minutes of the Hall of Fame game. I do think the Chargers are poised to be a team that takes a substantial leap forward here in the upcoming season.
Absolutely. I mean, it's Harbaugh. It's about every third, fourth year that he gets into a program that he makes his changes, and he has the team doing what he wants. I mean, I know we'll get back to it, but I mean, I do want to talk NFL, but speaking of Harbaugh, do you think that anything's ever going to come out of this cheating thing? Like, what's going on here? We got a game in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think anything of significance is going to come of it. Let me put it that way.
That's crazy to think about. That, honest to God, if you could just look around in central Minnesota or central Michigan, they are posting up, and they're going to get the hammer laid down on them because Connor Stein's being on the sidelines of that game, so they're loading up right there. So, does that mean that Michigan's in trouble that we don't know about, or I don't understand? I don't get it. I mean, obviously, waiting this long, what's the point of it right now? I mean, again, how many guys are even part of that team? What are they going to do? They're going to give Jim Harbaugh a lifetime ban from college football. Okay, he's gone anyway. It doesn't matter. He's in the NFL. Yep. And Connor Stallions can't be a football coach. And okay, he's not there now. So, okay, sorry about it. Well, congratulations. Yep. You cheated. You won a national title. You cheated. but congrats. Yep. Everybody else plays by different rules.
Yep.
I
think where we're at.
When is this even anything going to drop? Anything? Like a hint of it, Nothing. I mean, it has to suck for them, right? Don't you think it sucks for Michigan having to prepare and they're like, they don't know what's going to happen? They're going to come in and say, there's a bowl ban, there's this ban and that ban. I mean, the guys would have left, I think, if it was before. Well, I mean, they can't announce this mid-season, right?
Yeah, I anything of significance is going to happen to the program. I really don't. So, yes, it's a tough spot to be in at the moment because you don't know, and I guess it still could happen. I just think I think the NCAA is feckless, and I don't think there's any interest at this point because, as you said, to come down on the program now seems pointless because it's the people involved are no longer part of the program. I mean, this has always been the issue with the NCAA, or at least one of the issues with the NCAA, is the investigations take entirely too long, and the punishments never really hit the people that committed the crimes, and that's just been a constant over the years with the NCAA. And I do think it'll be interesting moving forward when we get whatever centralized office we get that starts handling big time college football. It will be interesting to see what happens and how quickly cases get adjudicated, because I do think that is one of the things that will change is it'll be some sort of a centralized office. And I think, hey, there's an allegation of wrongdoing. They'll look into it. After a couple of weeks, there will be a decision rendered. And the folks that if there's wrongdoing found, I think they'll be held accountable, much like you have in the NFL or the professional sports leagues now. You don't have invest take over a year into tampering or whatever the issues there are. You get, all right, there's the accusation, investigation. A couple of weeks later, boom, here's the punishment, and here's who gets punished, which is the way any normal organization would work. It's just the NCAA was never a normal organization and never did do much that made sense. So why would its investigative arm figure out a way to do things that made sense?
Like Mr. Mike Maudie said during the Sandusky thing, he goes, remember he said, we were at home playing with Power Rangers when this was supposedly going on, and they're going to punish us. And then you think about that, and it's true. It's absolutely true. I mean, how many guys at Michigan are still there from when this was going down? You know, they didn't even talked about the other stuff, like the offensive coordinator, when they took his laptop out of there, and he had all that information on all those co-eds and stuff like that. He was blackmailing people and this and that. I mean, how is that? How are we not bordering on lack of institutional control by Jim Harbaugh in that situation? I mean, you got that going on. You got a guy in the background stealing signs, sending people around the country to steal signs, paying people to do this. Like, that's the definition of it, in my opinion.
Well, this is really good to me. Whatever credibility the NCAA had, and I'm not sure how much credibility it had, but between the Penn State case, which, many may think the NCAA handled that properly, but they didn't. But when you look at the Penn State case and then the North Carolina case, to me, they lost any shred of credibility they had left. And again, we could debate whether or not there was credibility left, to me, vanished with the way those two situations were handled. Again, the North Carolina case to me is still the absolute epitome of why you wanted the NCAA to exist, is to handle cases like this, where you had a situation where athletes were being given credit for classes that literally did not exist. They weren't classes. It wasn't that they were cupcake classes and here student athletes can get an easy A. They were getting grades in courses not exist. Nobody was teaching them. Nobody went to them. They weren't occurring. Well, that is, and at the end of the day, the NCAA said, what do you want us to do? The Penn State situation was a legal matter and a completely mishandled legal matter at that, but that's not the NCAA's fault in and of itself. But the way the NCAA tag teamed with Louis Freeh on the quote unquote investigation, which was nothing that resembled an actual investigation, and then the punishment handed out there, any evidence of any wrongdoing from the program is still to me, and again, I realize the ESPNs of the world don't see it this way, but to me, that is the ultimate black eye on the NCAA. That they penalized a program that had nothing to do with the allegations, right. And then, at the end of the day, for those of you that have been following along, it turns out the allegations were also completely false. And so that is just beyond ridiculous.
You ready for this, Jeff?
I don't know if I am.
Just got a delivery.
Oh, you got the good stuff. You got the good stuff. Look at you, Goon.
You couldn't do a show without wings, Goon. We took care of you.
A little Quaker Steak and Lube delivery for the dear Goon. well deserved. Enjoy.
Well, it's a great show today. Thanks, guys, for coming along. We'll talk to you next week.
And that was the last anybody saw or heard of the Goon.
Lordy. Ooh. Beautiful.
Goon, I will say, for kiddos that are like 10 or 11 in Philadelphia right now, you, dear kiddos, this is what it was like to be me growing up as a Pittsburgh fan in the late 70s and early 80s. It is pretty remarkable times, and I do think the Eagles, again, are going to be right in the mix. That offensive line, I think we talked about this last week, Booch and I a little bit too, about just how remarkably consistent and their ability to find the right piece to fill when one goes out and, hey, we got to get somebody else in here. Boom. There's another stalwart. And it just feels like things are humming right now with that Eagles organization. And again, we'll see what happens with the Commanders and the race. The Cowboys, to me, listen, I think they'll get the Micah Parsons thing resolved. I hope they don't. I hope Mike ends up getting traded away to the Steelers. We'll get TJ Watt on one side, Micah Parsons on the other. I would love to see that. But I think Dallas will get that resolved. I think they'll also cause unnecessary hard feelings to exist in the locker room, and I will never understand Jerry Jones why he does this stuff where you intentionally.
I don't know why either. Did you see what
your
J.J. Watt made a tweet? What is it called? X comment on Twitter, like, this is why you don't treat your star players like this. I mean, this is the issue that he's running down with God, who was the receiver before? Well, he was C.D. Lamb was the last guy he did this with. Before him was Bryant. It's just like he has these star players and he tries to hold them out. It's like, dude, these are your star players. You take care of those guys first, and then the younger guys, the smaller guys after that. And it builds up a lot of bad animosity amongst the guys. I mean, the players are always going to have Micah Parsons back, always, and an ex-player will too, because it's about money. But and then they will resolve it, and everybody will come together like with about a week left in camp, and Mike is going to go out and become all pro again, and all this and all that. But he's going to get paid. But it's just ugly right now. Why do you want to bring this ugliness to your camp, and why do you want your coach having to talk about this every day instead of your team? And he seems to thrive in it. I mean, I'm pretty sure he is the guy who invented the saying, any news is good news, good or bad. Bad news is good news as long as your name's in the paper. And you got to think about that sometimes. That's not always the case, but he seems to enjoy it.
Listen, I do think it is a large part of why, since Jimmy Johnson left, the Cowboys have been irrelevant in terms of the big picture. I get they're still a very profitable franchise and all of that, but in terms of a team that can make a Super Bowl run or be a Super Bowl contender, again, there is a reason why they're not one of those teams, and they won't be again in the upcoming season. That I feel very confident in saying. And listen, this McLaurin situation with the Commanders, again, I think it will also get resolved, and they'll Jaden Daniels is the real deal, and I think the Commanders will be formidable in the division. But listen, to me, it's the Eagles' division to win again. And I just think when you look at the way that organization is built right now, it just does not feel like they're going anywhere anytime soon. I think they are in a very similar place to where the Kansas City Chiefs have been, which is, they might not win the Super Bowl every year, but they are going to be right there in the mix, I think, year in, year out for the foreseeable, at least for the next few years, just because that's how that organization and that that roster is built right now. It's built for long-term sustained success.
Did you, well, you know the adage, you're a Steelers fan. What wins championships? Defense. Did you see the Eagles' average age of the defender of the starting defense right now? Under 26. That's insane, man. They're loading up.
I was going to say it's got to be
a 3 or 4 or 5 year window here where it's going to run through Philadelphia because again on offense it starts with the offensive line. And you know what? People who doubt Jalen Hurts and say he's not a top quarterback, that's fine. That's completely fine. He can win Super Bowl after Super Bowl. You can keep ranking him number 9 or 10 in the league as a player, but the guy, he's a game manager, man. You got Saquon out there. You have the tight ends and receivers. I mean, it's amazing what they have built down there.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. You need the right fit, and Jalen Hurts is the right fit. I don't know that it matters at the end of the day whether he's the 7th best or the 20th best overall in terms of arm talent or whatever. He is a really good fit for
what he said. He goes, I don't care as long as he can do this at the end of the season.
Yeah, for what they need and what they're trying to accomplish, he gets it. He knows his role. He fills his role very, very well. And I understand as far as it goes, and it is. It's fun sports fodder. They were discussing on one of our programs earlier today the current players in Major League Baseball that would project into the Hall of Fame. And again, it's a fun, interesting discussion, meaningless, and because it's going to play out the way it's going to play out, whether we sit here and talk about it in August of 2025 or not. The players that'll get in will get in, and those that won't. But it's a fun discussion, and there's a few that it's obvious, yes. Several that it's like, maybe if they keep on the trajectory, and a few others that it's like, no, I don't, I don't really see that. But in terms of the comparisons, there is a need, and I haven't. I mean, this isn't condemning anybody, but we do feel that need as sports fans. Well, we got to compare, and a lot of times it's comparing things that you can't compare. Comparing like a Terry Bradshaw to a Jalen Hurts. Well, completely different eras, completely different expectations, completely different players around them. The rules changes, all of it. I mean, how would you possibly compare eras, especially in football when the eras are as different as they are? And really, to a larger degree now, baseball is becoming the same way. For decades and decades, it was largely the same game. And so the comparisons were, all right, well, I think this era was better, and so it was harder to put up numbers. But, you had at least basically the same game. I would argue now, to a large degree, you do not have the same game with the rules changes. And again, whatever you think of the rules changes is fine, but it's a very different era of baseball that we're living in now, certainly than like in the 50s and 60s, in every way, from the free agency aspect to the pitch clock to all of the different things. It's fun to do, but you can't accurately compare that stuff.
The biggest thing about baseball is if you see a batter 3 times in the game, that's a big thing. Or you see the same pitcher 3 times in the game. You know what I mean? That's a you don't see it all the time now because they are going. I mean, they have stopped it a little bit with the pitch clock, and you have to pitch to so many batters when you come in the relief. And I agree with that. The games are going faster. They're getting quicker. There's a little more excitement involved. But yeah, I mean, you can't compare Bryce Harper's numbers to George Brett. I mean, I don't know why I just used George Brett, but just say the name George Brett or Mike Schmidt. They saw a guy who pitched. They saw him 4 or 5 times in one day, and that guy's going to wear out.
Yeah,
Bryce Harper might see a guy who started for 3 times. Mike might see him 3 times, most likely twice, and they're going to bring some guy in throwing 102 miles an hour, setting up for a guy who's throwing 105 mile an hour sinkers. And the amount of stuff the comparison of football, on baseball, is very hard. But Football is even worse because of how technology has changed the game and the speed of the game and the forward pass. Let's just say that. I mean, Terry Bradshaw, it goes back to it. Could Caleb Williams, could he have the same results as Jalen Hurts if he was the Eagles quarterback versus the Bears quarterback? Would Jalen Hurts be okay coaching or being the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 1970s? He's a game manager just like Bradshaw was. Wasn't expected to make all of the plays. Good run game, good strength, great defense, that type of thing. But the comparisons are hard to do. So in that interview you're talking, how many guys were they saying? Like some of the names there. Is Bryce Harper? Is he a guaranteed Hall of Famer? You think?
I don't know that they use the word guaranteed, but yeah, Hall of Famer. Ohtani obviously needs to play a little longer, but certainly a Hall of Famer. It's Aaron Judge is certainly on his way to
on his way, but he has a late start, man.
Yeah, but you look at the just.
Oh, I know. I love him. I like watching him play ball, man.
Yeah, so all of those are fun discussions, and the quarterback. I get it. We like our top 10 lists, and this guy fits here because of these reasons. At the end of the day, if I'm Jalen Hurts, I don't care if you rank me as the 32nd best quarterback. He's the right quarterback at the right time for the Eagles. Would he have the success he's having if you put him on the Bills? And I have no idea. And nobody does. It's just I think he is the right quarterback for that organization at this time. I think it's a really good fit. I think he makes the right decisions. I think he brings the right attitude, the right physical presence to that huddle and to that offense. And I don't know at the end of the day that it really matters. I know it doesn't matter to him where you rank him. He just wants to go out and try to get some more rings. And
what you don't have, Jeffrey?
That's how we match.
When you have a super strong offensive line that's the character of your team, you don't have jerks on your team. You don't have Antonio Browns and guys jumping around, look at me, because the offensive line is going to go and beat the smack out of them in the locker room and tell them to shut up. Yeah. And I think that Philadelphia's done a very good job with that. With the core of that team is the line play, because their defense line is just as damn good as their O line and just as big. So I think that culture is run down there by big people. So big people know how to win games and they know how to get things done, baby.
It also would explain why the Steelers have had some issues with their wide receivers we would call dominant in recent years. Hopefully, it will be a better line in the upcoming season. Fingers crossed. We'll take a break here, be back with a final segment on our Tuesday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
Rings and all kinds of other tempting things. Great times, great food. Get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food. Get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Tonight, the State College Spikes continue a week-long homestand with a 6:35 p.m. matchup against the Frederick Keys. It's Walking Taco Tuesday with half-price walking tacos all game long. Plus 16-ounce Miller Lite and Coors Light drafts are half price from 5:30 to 7:30. See your first-half champion Spikes in action on the road to the MLB Draft League Championship game. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And back here once again on a Tuesday afternoon as the Dear Goon enjoys his wings. I'm enjoying my orange chicken salad as well here at Quaker Steak and Lube. And one final segment here on this Tuesday. Jed Donahue will take over the airwaves here from 4 to 6. On Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox, the beloved Buccos continue their series against the Giants. Airtime at 6:15 this evening as the Pirates look to keep things rolling here against San Francisco. They've had the Giants number over the last couple of weeks here. So see if they can roll through this series at home the way they did the series in San Francisco. Again, we've been talking about preseason hype. If you missed it yesterday, Tyler Jasansky, who is kind of one of those unsung heroes, if you will, the long snapper, and he has been really, really steady. He is up for the he's on the Manley Award watch list, which goes to the best long snapper in the country at the end of the season. And certainly he's got to be on the short list of guys that could win that award in the upcoming season. I do think it's interesting, Goon, that Nicholas Singleton, and I'm certainly not begrudging Nicholas his due here, but he is getting named. He's on the Maxwell Award watch list along with Drew Aller, not unexpectedly. But when you look at the numbers that he and Katron Allen put up last year, Singleton, Allen's getting a mention here and there, but pretty much any award that a offensive star running back can get, Nicholas Singleton is on the watch list for going into the season. And Katron Allen is kind of an afterthought here. And I understand the explosive ability that Singleton has. But again, if you look at the numbers from last season, I mean, Katron Allen has been the steady presence. And again, they're very, very comparable numbers wise. I find that interesting. And maybe hopefully, I guess, from Penn State's perspective, maybe it puts a little extra chip on Katron Allen's shoulder going into the season. I'm not sure that, I don't know if he much cares about the accolades one way or the other, but I do find it interesting when you have a two-headed monster that only one head seems to really be getting the preseason attention here.
I agree. You know what? I was looking at something funny this week, and I'm like on Facebook or on Twitter, they have like these old like and fun Street and Smiths, like people to look for watching like for the seasons and stuff. So I'm going through, every day they have the offensive line, the tight end, and wide receivers. So this is the 94. Kijana was about midway through as a running back. Kyle wasn't on the list. Kerry wasn't on the list. Bobby was on the list about midway through, and Hardings was about the 15th card. And that was the only 4 or 5 guys from Penn State in the 94 year. So what does that mean? And it also reminds me of another story. So in 1986, my brother got nominated for the Outland Trophy Award. He was a finalist, so he was one of the final 8, right? You know when he knew that he was a finalist? After the ceremony. Like, this is how far it's come. Yeah. This is how he got a phone call. Somebody from Penn State called and said, hey, by the way, what do you feel about being, a runner-up in the Outland? And my brother was like, well, what do you mean? What is the Outland? So good. When I started playing was when the Outland sort of ESPN Game Day started doing those post-season shows.
Yeah.
So like those, like the Outland Trophy was not like a big thing. It was just the Heisman Trophy. And then like, how like Dawkins won like the Danny Warfel Award, but they announced it at the ESPN Awards night, but they had like, it was in, down in Gainesville later in the year and stuff like that. But that's how they normally work. But just to see how far it's come, that was 86. And he wasn't even, he didn't even know he was nominated. And then he went through the whole process, the whole thing, and he was one of the 6 runner-ups or 7 runner-ups. So that's how it is. And you know what those numbers mean? I mean, hell, you want to hear something funny? I think that me and Mike Archie were the 2 top-rated players our junior year for going in the NFL and stuff like that. And we ended up being both 6th-round picks. So somebody was off on that judgment back in the day. I don't know. Season awards or whatever. The preseason awards are even worse because, me and you were joking how many top 10 lists we have to make because we got to make them and this and that. But how many lists are out there? And if that fuels Singleton and Allen and our offensive line and our offense, use it, man. Absolutely use that.
For sure.
Absolutely. That'd be a great locker room thing.
Yeah. We were talking about the receivers earlier, and I meant to follow up because one of the other things, there's questions about the production of the receivers and kind of who will step up and not just among the 3 transfers, but among the young kids as well, and kind of where that firepower could emerge from. And the running backs are getting a lot of attention, and understandably. And I think who kind of emerges if there is a clear third guy at running back, I think that's a really interesting storyline that I am really curious about. I'm not at all concerned about because I think it's going to play out wonderfully no matter how it plays out. But you do have 3 tight ends that are all capable of being the guy, whether or not they are Tyler Warren or not. Yeah. I don't know. But, you've got 3 guys here in Khalil Dinkins, who is really, really good. Andrew Appleyea, who, is getting all kinds of accolades, and we saw why. And Luke Reynolds, if all three stay healthy, Goon, and again, I don't get the feeling any three are going to have any problem with lack of targets or whatever. As if Penn State's winning, that's what they're there for. And I think all three are capable of being big-time receivers, receiving targets, but all are capable of being really good blockers as well. I am just curious how they use them, and kind of, is it one of those things where, hey, one game Rapplier gets 8 catches, another game Dinkins gets 9, another game, or is it, hey, each game, and again, you won't know this until we get probably 7 or 8 games in. It's like, okay, this is kind of how this is playing out. But I am curious to see what the individual production is there for those three, and then the collective production I think is going to be very high. But how that production gets spread around, I think is also a really interesting to the season.
It's interesting because you don't know. I mean, on a football team, you have your blocking tight end, your catching tight end, and your like slot guy who's an H-back, a fullback, doing all this and all that. And Penn State has that going right now. But yeah, you're right. Who is going to be the guy going out, be the starting, when you need a big play from the tight end position? Who's going to be out there? Is it going to be by committee? Is it going to be individual? I hate it because I'm saying his name again, but remember when Harbaugh was the coach of Stanford? You remember that before? Before the 49ers, but I remember him going out there. He had sets with 4 tight ends.
Yep.
And just mashing people. And then we as in Penn State have that capability this year to do that. We can,
for sure.
Jeff, I am telling you right now, I have not been this fired up about an offense since ours. I'm not lying to you. I just think that they have everything going for them right now. They're all well adjusted, and they're going to want to go out and smack people around. But they're going to be like, hey, you want us to throw the ball 40 times today, and you're going to sit in an 8-man box? That's fine. Drew Allar's an All-American. That's the best way to coach offense right there. You want to stop the run game? Okay, Drew Allar's an All-American. You want to stop the pass game? Guess what? K-Tron and Singleton are going to just absolutely maul you. And then you have these tight end guys. Goodness gracious. We know that Kotelnicki can run an offense with that's surrounded by a tight end, that's anchored with a tight end. So I know we don't have a Tyler Warren, but we have some pretty damn guys out there. And the more they're on the field, the better. Think about this, Jeff. If Penn State really, really, really wanted to go old school, like smash mouth, you put Duncan in a tight end's jersey. You got all these, you have 6 or 7 offensive linemen who could play right there, and you have 3 damn good tight ends who could still play out there. You want to load up and just run that single wing from back in the day down somebody's throat. Let's do it, man. Let's get it done. That would be awesome. If that's where they want to go that week, that's fine. But if they want to go out and spread it around, they have the ability to do that too. So tight end wise, you are right. Not the long shot, but the people I'm most interested in are the wide receivers. Get them involved, get the running game involved, get the passing game involved, get these guys hyped up. But you have a great offensive line and you got great tight ends. Use them too.
Yeah, well, and Rapplier before the injury, Goon, I think that he felt like he was the next Tyler Warren. And, again, I think both Reynolds and Dinkins are elite tight ends. They have 3 studs there.
And they're big, man. They're big. They all been on the show. And I remember just sitting there going, damn, that's a big boys.
Yeah. So I do think it'll be fun to see just kind of what emerges from that group. I think as a group, I'm guessing they'll get at least 10 targets a game on average. But again, how those targets get distributed, I just think I'm just really curious about, because again, all three are just really good, and I think all three Goon have a game that projects very well at the next level as well. I mean, I think all three of these guys are going to be playing for a while.
Yeah, we are producing a ton of guys, man. I mean, how many guys we're producing for the NFL right now is astronomical. It's going back to my era. Like I always tell people, you know, I came to Penn State, and just you've heard me say it. I came to Penn State in 1991, and just in that offensive meeting room with all of our quarterbacks all the way through, so 5 classes, there was 31 NFL players in that room just from the offense.
Yeah,
I didn't include the 20-some guys who went to the NFL from defense. I mean, that's a lot of guys, man. And I think we're getting back to that. The recruiting thing is really, really been great. The coaching thing, I mean, Tyler, my boy Bun, Ty Howe is doing a hell of a job out there with those tight ends. He's got guys, they want to come here now, man. I mean, that's the big thing is when you were tight end and you want to come to Penn State, that's damn good, man. That's a good feeling to have. And Tyler's done a great job. Ty's done a great job with all those guys. But, man, we are going to miss Warren. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think I've ever seen anything that special as a tight end before. Have you? Not at Penn State.
No, not who was as dynamic as he was and could do the nitty gritty. Hey, let's get down like that combination. I mean, Kyle Brady was special. He didn't have the dynamic downfield ability that Warren has.
He could have, but we just didn't have that in the playbook then.
Yes, and you know, I think the other thing about it, and this is one of the reasons I really do think Penn State is in the national title hunt this year. I do think this is an offense that can, much like the defense, it has been, and I think will be again this year. But I think this offense, Goon, and we talked about it earlier, if they want, certainly in those first 3 games, and probably in the overwhelming majority of their games, if they wanted to, they could just line up and say, our offensive line is just going to dominate your defensive line. Maybe with 3 or 4 exceptions, that they could just do that and not even have to throw the ball more than a handful of times. But to win the national title, they're going to have to get some big plays elsewhere. What I think they can do is just on a game-to-game level, match up. All right, this game, we're going to use the 3 tight ends pretty consistently because there's no way a defense is going to be able to cover all 3 of these guys consistently, along with our receivers and the running backs and the whole bit. But, like, I think you can really change up what you're doing offensively from one game to the next, depending on if you feel like you have a substantial matchup advantage. And I'm talking here just in the passing game. I think in every game they feel like they're going to be able to at least hold their own when it comes to the running game. But in terms of how they approach the passing game, and this is where, again, the experience of Drew Aller, I think, is huge, Goon, because I do think if there's a game where it's like, Drew, you're going to have to make some big time plays downfield for us to get this one. Okay, let's go make some big time downfield. Hey, this game, we just need you to take the 7 or 8 yards. It's going to be there all day. Between these routes that they're going to be there, somebody's going to be open. You just got to find them, get the ball. Like, I think he's going to be okay with that too. I don't think it's hey, I got to put up the gaudy statistics game in and game out. I think it's let's figure out what the best strategy is. And if this receiving core takes the step that I think, or I'm certainly hoping that it takes from a year ago, then Penn State is going to be able to beat you in a bunch of different ways. And if a defense decides, hey, we're going to take this away from you, okay, well, have fun with that because we'll beat you
Here we go.
a couple of ways. And I think that's why that receiving core is so important. Is if it can be just good, it doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have, they don't need any of those guys to be Jeremiah Smith. They need make the routine plays routinely, and occasionally let's get a big one that helps your quarterback and the offense out.
Think about it as a defensive coordinator. What do you got to stop Penn State doing next year? And you got to start with the run. You cannot let Penn State run the ball down your throat. So what are you going to do? You're going to drop 8. You better have the receiver stepping up and making some plays on those opening games, man. Ohio State took Tyler Warren out of the game last year, so it can be done. So we need to watch out for that. You got to have the offensive, the run pass option going real nice. But we go back to 94, and you've heard me. That was our thing. How do you want to lose today? Do you want us to just gash you? You want to lose by 50 points, and we'll just put 8 men in the box and Kerry will throw all over you? Or do you want to, you just want to man up and stop the passing, and Johnny Carter's going to run for 300 on you? So that's where we're at right now, and I can't tell you how excited I am for this year. I mean, we've been excited before in the last couple of years, specifically me and you 2 years ago, saying we were all in 2 years ago. I think last year was one of those things that was just perfectly laid out for us. How it worked out for us was absolutely awesome. And you know what, Jeff? Losing a game is not the end of the season the way it was when we grew up. You learn from a loss now. You can recover from a loss. Ohio State had 2 of them last year, 3 of them. 2, right?
2. Yep.
Yeah, they lost 2. And they won a national title. So think about that. Everything has changed in that regard when it comes to losing a game, not playing the game, not having a good game. I mean, as you've heard me say about Joe Paterno, every team has a game they're supposed to lose. Every team has it. And then you got to find a way to win it. But nowadays, you can still get away with losing a game and still competing and moving on. And that's the way it was last year. So, this is awesome, bro. I need to get better. I can't tailgate like this, Jeff. I can't tailgate.
No, that's no good, Goon. That is no good at all.
So I thought about when I go to I think about bringing a steak body truck and having a bulldozer on there and a front end loader and just picking me off the back of the truck and then drop me at my tailgate and then coming to pick me up in 18 hours.
Yeah.
Gotta get better. Gotta get off the IR, buddy.
You do.
Jeff,
you do, and we're looking forward to we're looking forward to that happening.
Absolutely,
what's that?
Baby. You can't make the team from the tub. That's the bottom line. I got to get on the field, man. I got to get out there. I can't be sitting at home getting delivered wings over here. Can't be doing it. Which, by the way, were fantastic. Thank you. Tell Rachel and Dr. Powers and Mr. Brentford. Thank you.
I will do that. Yep, I will do that. And I know they were happy to oblige. So
a very nice thought. Thank you.
Yes. Job well done, as is always the case here by the folks at Quaker Steak and Lube. Goon, the final thing I just want to touch on with Penn State football is as we hurtle ever closer to the start of the season, and now we're getting to the point where it's now you can hardly wait to all right, let's get this thing going, and it's going to be a long few weeks till we get there of anticipation and excitement. I do think one of the other things that'll be fascinating to watch through those first 3 games is what the offensive line rotation looks like, kind of who's getting in when, and the backup quarterback situation. And I was reading an article and it's going to be fascinating both in terms of, all right, who's the guy, if there is a guy this season as the clear number 2, if God forbid Aller goes down, and obviously everybody is hoping that does not happen. But if it does, Goon, again, it puts a dent in Penn State's chances. But I really think with what we're hearing, at least from both Gruckmeyer and Smolix, I think both those guys are capable of coming in and with everything else Penn State has in place, doing great things. The question is, even more so like for next year, if one clearly emerges as the number 2 and the other is the number 3, does that mean the clear number 3 this year, therefore the number 2 next year? Are they out of here because they want to go get that starting opportunity? Here's what's interesting, though, to me, is if it is as close of a competition as James Franklin is making it sound, and I suspect it is, if during those first 3 games they're like, hey, we got to see what we have with both of these guys, and they both go in and perform well, and it is a close competition, it's like, this game we'll put, flip a coin, we'll put Ethan in this one. Flip a coin, we'll put Jackson in this one. What does that mean for next year if you have a true competition that leads all the way to the season? Do you buy the old adage that if you don't have if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one? Or is it, hey, no, this is great, plus we now know because both are competing and feel like they're getting a fair shot here that we're going to have both of them available next season? I don't think James Franklin's going to play games that way, that, hey, I don't want one of these guys to transfer, so I'm going to play both. I think if one is clearly emerging as the number 2, that he's going to go with them. But if neither does emerge as the clear number 2 and both are performing well, I think it adds another interesting dynamic looking all the way ahead, as we can do as fans and media folk, to the 2026 campaign.
Yeah, I mean, think about every successful football season in Penn State history. Or you can even put the Steelers in there. A backup quarterback's had to come in and make some plays throughout the year at times. Yep. We don't beat Wisconsin last year with Pabula. We don't beat them without Bo going in there and doing that. We're not in the playoff without Bo Pabula going out there and doing that. So you're going to need a backup quarterback to come in and make some plays at least sometime throughout the year. I'm looking back to Notre Dame. They're down 10 points in that game against us last year. Their quarterback just hand it off. Just don't make a mistake, Put some points on the board. Huge thing, man.
It is. Again, a lot of different interesting storylines that we will be following up to and through certainly those first 3 games, and then we'll start to learn a little bit more about what this team has with the whiteout game against Oregon. Goon, we're wishing you. I
made it.
Wishing you, yes, we're wishing you best wishes for a full and speedy recovery. And looking forward to getting you back off of the IR here and in person. But we appreciate your zooming in today. Folks, we will be back on Thursday with another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show. Until then, be good and be safe.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food. Get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Tonight, the State College Spikes continue a week-long homestand with a 6:35 p.m. matchup against the Frederick Keys. It's Walking Taco Tuesday with half-price walking tacos all game long. Plus 16-ounce Miller Lite and Coors Light drafts are half price from 5:30 to 7:30. See your first-half champion Spikes in action on the road to the MLB Draft League Championship game. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College.